Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, November 21st. It is 6:22 right now. Market's going to open in about 8 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. It's got a couple things here to update, and we should be good to go. All right, looks good. A few more things here. All right, perfect. Looks like we are good to go. Now let me just get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right, looks good. As people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here on our liquidity chart. So I'll start here on the daily time frame. Start marking up these levels right here. Going down to the 8-hour. Going down to the 4-hour. Going down to the 2-hour. Going down to the 1-hour. Going down to the 30. Down to the 15. Down to the 10. And it looks like we are good to go. All right, guys. So that is pretty much it for now. Got liquidity marked up right here. Closest level for liquidity is going to be above over here at 35,184. So that's going to be the closest level above. And then the level below is going to be at 35,139. ETR is kind of low right now. It's currently at 7. But that's pretty much it. All right, so we got everything pretty much marked up right there. Good morning, everybody. If you guys are just joining, today's Tuesday, November 21st. It's 6:26 right now. Market's going to open in about 4 minutes. We'll see what happens here on market open. But as you guys can see, we have liquidity marked up right here. So closest level is going to be down below, right here at 35,139. Upper level over here is going to be at 35,184. Here is our clean chart. I'm going to mark up 6:30. 8 o'clock. I'm also going to see if there's any zones here that we should look out for on the 4-hour and the 1-hour. So the 4-hour resistance right there. 4-hour support. I'm going to go down to the 1-hour real quick, see if there's anything closer. And that's pretty much it. All right, so looks like price is kind of far from both the levels. I mean, we'll come back and take a look when time comes, but this is a 4-hour resistance, obviously. And this is the 4-hour hour support. So we're not really close to it at all. I mean, I'll leave it there if price does get near it, but that's pretty much all we got for right now. Again, like I mentioned, the volatility is very low right now. ETR is currently at 7, so we're not really seeing too much movement here. And we'll see what happens here on open. So market's gonna open in about 2 minutes, guys. Let me check the news real quick this morning. So we had news this morning. We had Chicago Federal National Activity Index. It was negative. We had Redbook. It was pretty much neutral. We have news over here at 7 o'clock. It's existing home sales. And that's pretty much it. So we got news coming up over here at 7 o'clock. And that's pretty much that. All right, guys. So market is about to open in about 2 minutes. Well, let's see what's here so far. Morning, Andreas. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Maria. Morning, Kevin. Morning, Craig. Morning, David. Morning, Nick. Morning, Valentine. Craig said not trading until the 29th, Sean. Gained 1% over on the account, holding off for the payout. It's not a lot, but it's helping with mindset. Yeah, exactly, Craig. So what you can do is you can open like a trial account and just trade on the trial account, or trade on a demo account, right? You don't have to trade on your actual account. That way you'll just keep your repetitions going, and you'll get more of that confidence back, so that when you do trade your actual account, you'll be ready to just jump right into it. So no, I think that's a good idea. Just hold out for a bit and basically just wait for your payout, and then once you're ready, you'll be ready. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, if you have a free trial you can just open a free trial with FTMO or something, just run it, because that's what a lot of people do. They'll try to pass a free trial with like 1 or 2 times, and then once they're good, they will exactly, you just get the proper lot sizing, leverage, etc. And then once you start on the actual challenge, you'll be good to go. So all right, guys, market is opening in about 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Market is now open. So we'll see what happens here. Market is kind of bouncing back and forth super heavily right here. Let's see how far is it dropping. This is 630. So we got let me mark up open price. We got a lot of crazy volatility right here on open. It's typical for right here. I think price is going to swing back up though, because if you look at retail sentiment is super 68% short. This indicates that 68% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So I think eventually price will swing back up. I mean, it might bounce down below a little bit. Reason for that is because of the news. So if you guys saw the news that I checked earlier, you guys saw that the news for the Chicago Fed National Activity Index was negative, right? So it was negative. So price is probably just slightly coming down for now, and then it's going to swing all the way back up. And that's exactly where I'm seeing price going, because everything's bullish. So if you look over here on the higher time frames, I think it's for the most part bullish. I think short-term price might come down slightly, and then it's going to swing all the way back up for the fake out. And that's exactly what's happening here. See that nice fake out right back to opening price, everyone getting wiped out right here. If you guys ever want to do that, I mean, that's like one way to trade too. You guys can wait for the fake out and then just catch the correction back up, because look where it's gone. Did exactly what I said. So pretty much blasted right through there. Alan said home sales in 27 minutes. Yeah, definitely. Thanks for the heads up, Alan. I have it marked up right here at 7 o'clock. So we're going to be looking out for that. But again, the volatility is kind of low. So as you guys can see over here, volatility is currently at 10 ATR. So it's very low right now. We typically need it to be around 15. So yeah, at the moment, we're kind of just going to follow and see where this ends up going. But eventually, I do think price will be pushing to the, to the upside. So over here, 630 is right there. I'm going to mark up opening price. Closest level is going to be right here. So if you guys are looking to take a high-low scalp, there is a higher high right there. Yeah, so Kenneth said I've been testing the reversal on the crazy swing candles. It's been working super risky though. Yeah, no, and I agree with you too, Kenneth. Like it's a good strategy if you can like catch the the entry point. Typically you want to see it go opposite of like wherever the bias is, and then but it is super risky. You have to be like paying attention because it happens so quick. If you miss the entry point, like the actual, prime entry, then you're kind of screwed, right? And then at that point, a lot of people start to get FOMO. So yeah, just be careful if you do end up taking that. So let's check today's overall bias. Retail sentiment is bullish. It's currently 68% short. Fundamental bias is currently, let's check the fundamentals real quick. Fundamental bias over here is currently, it's pretty much neutral right now. Neutral and negative 40 points. Short-term technicals, long-term technicals. Short-term technicals are currently, I'll say bearish neutral. They're not really confirmed to be bearish, but they're more on the bearish neutral side. Because they're kind of mixed. Looking over here on the higher time frames, they're pretty much neutral as well. You can see the 30-minute here is pretty much straight neutral. 1 hour is currently neutral, and the 4 hour here is bullish. So we're just going to put straight neutral. So there's not really much of a bias today. So if you guys are looking to take some V1 variations, there's no V1s for today right now, at least, because there's no bias. You need to have a bias in order for you to take that trade. So again, like I mentioned, guys, there's no entries here for any V1 variations. There technically is no entry here either for the high-low scalp, at least not yet, until the the direction and bias has been confirmed. Hasn't been confirmed yet. So again, this is going to be time for you guys to kind of just wait, be a little patient. You can see price over here is kind of getting close to the session. So this might be the area where price might bounce. Price might come down to the sessions here, bounce off that, and then come right back up. So it's going to be an area right there for you guys to look at if you guys are looking to take any specific trades here. See market open right here. And this thing is like, it's super uncertain as to where price is likely to go. So let me see where this is going right here. Price has dropped about 600 pips. Yeah, it's really, I mean, there's no direction. You guys saw the bias for today. So we'll go where price goes, but right now there's just nothing for us to do at the specific moment. If this is the case, this is fine too, because I just noticed that there was a high-low scalp right here that came up, guys. Right there. But there was no bias, so it's hard to tell. Because there was no, retail sentiment was bullish. We need to have majority of things here bullish, majority of things bearish. There was a high-low scalp that came up right there, though. You can see how price broke the lower low, broke and closed it. And that would have been entry for a high-low scalp, the original. But it's all good. I mean, there's no direction right now. So again, we'd have to continue to wait. It looks like there might be a sell here, though. So I think if we look over here at the fundamentals, it's getting bearish. So if that's the case and price, say price swings up a little bit, comes back down, maybe opportunity for a high-low scalp for a sell. I know we were trying to avoid the sells here, but if this is the case and price continues to come down lower, the bias is now starting to shift towards a sell. I know the retail sentiment is super high, so it's kind of a little bit of a risky entry there. But I mean, I guess we'll see what happens here. There's a V1 variation pattern setting up right here. But again, like I mentioned earlier, there's no V1 variations available at the moment because there's no bias. You need to have a bias in order for there to be a V1 variation in that direction. Plus, it's at the red flag right here at the London high. So I wouldn't have taken this V1 variation if you guys didn't see it. Because if you were to take it right there, your TP would have to pass through the session, which is an obvious red flag. All right, so we'll have to follow through. Liquidity over here just got hit. So liquidity for the sell right here on this lower level that I marked up for you guys got hit. So there goes the first level of liquidity. I wouldn't have taken the second level down here. As you can see, it's the same candle that broke past it. Whenever a price breaks past it like this, you want to make sure that they're kind of separated. You don't want to enter on the same candle because the candle's so huge that it's likely to, obviously retrace back up. So there's another level of liquidity right here. If you guys want to take the retest of it, let me go back to this chart over here. So we'll see if this here closes as a high-low scalp. I mean, if this is a high-low scalp right here, it might be a decent entry. I don't know if it'll establish though, because it's only been like 3 candles. If this comes down below, it might just establish a new lower low. Yeah, so you can see right there, it established a new lower low. So this level right here is no longer valid. So again, guys, it's a waiting game. There's no need to rush for any entries here. You just got to wait for that move to come to you. So again, this lower low get pushed down a little bit lower. And we just got to wait. If this is the case, we might have a bearish. Yeah, so the short-term technicals are now bearish. I'm pretty sure the fundamentals are now bearish as well. I mean, it's not a super strong bearish bias, but yeah, it's not a super strong bearish bias, but it is starting to shift to bearish. The sentiment here is starting to drop as well. $67 now. But again, we are going to just wait. I mean, there's no need to force anything here, guys. So again, we're just going to wait. And we'll see where this market is taking us. We got 20 minutes till news, so we got some time. But let's see. So for the news today, it's existing home sales. I'm expecting this to be negative. They're expecting it to be a little better, but I'm expecting it to be a negative. I don't think home sales have gone up. If you guys are familiar with home sales in the winter season for homes, it's usually not good data, even if like the market is good. So like the market home sales are typically slow during the winter. People don't want to move during the winter, of course, right? It's too cold, it's raining, snowing. Typically, it's just not going to be, it's not one that I would typically look at myself personally. So I'm expecting this to be negative. It's high impact. They're expecting it to be not super negative, but negative. I'm expecting it to be pretty negative. So we'll see what happens there. So I got the news marked up right here. Or sorry, not news. I got the opening price marked up right here on the clean chart. See if I can start marking up some structure here. And we got some pending structure here. So price is moving directional. It looks like it's starting, or it's attempting to establish a floor down here. You can see it tried to establish a floor right here, but it dropped a little lower, and then it's still going back and forth. So we'll, I guess we'll see. Yeah, there's nothing for us to take here. I mean, the ATR is starting to pick up a little bit. It's still at 14, but if it does pick up a bit more, let's see. Technically, it'd be used already right here. So this momentum signal has been used, even though there's no official entry for it yet. I guess we can continue to follow it because so technically right here, we had a sell signal, price came below, this green candle pushed up, never filled. Then it pushed back down, pushed up right here for retracement. The entry technically could have happened right here, but since the ATR is currently at 14, there's no entry here for a momentum pullback scalp. I'll mark it up here or I'll come back and take a look at it in a little bit. Because if it does play through, then obviously there's not going to be any entry here or any opportunity for us to take entry there. Due to the, plus it's overextended. So if you measure it from this area up here, from this higher high, it's getting close to that overextension point. So we'll come back and take a look at this. I actually would like a buy signal to come up here. This is going to confirm the retracement. Once we have the confirmation of retracement, we'll see price kind of pull up a little bit and then continue back down. So I actually want this green buy signal to come up. I want it to close because once it closes, we'll have that confirmation of the retracement. And from there, we can start looking for any other opportunities here in the market. But again, like I mentioned before, guys, it's all about, and the liquidity here just got hit. So if you guys saw the retest of liquidity that I marked up here, full TP, first level liquidity right here, full TP as well. So full TP on both of these right there. If you guys took any liquidity from that lower level, it looks like a lot of you guys here did take it. So solid work there, guys. I'll keep looking back and forth to see if there's any opportunities here, but the ATR is still kind of low. It's currently at 14 right now. So we'll look at this. We'll pretty much look at the high lows here and then also the high low scalp V2s. That's kind of all we can look at right now. The V1 variations are not necessarily in place because of the bias. Bias isn't strong enough right now for us to take those V1 variations. I mean, technically, if you wanted to take them, you can, but personally, I'd see them as kind of risky. See, C6 hit trap Tuesday on Thanksgiving week. It's worth the patience. Yeah, I agree too. Looks like Maria caught the liquidity earlier. Rashida said there's a huge 10-minute candle. Yeah, that 10-minute sell candle is huge. It's pretty big. Let's go back over here to the 5-minute. So these are levels that I drew from, actually, no, these. So technically there's some levels over here that have not been, no, actually they're not going to be lined up because this is from yesterday and this is when price was bullish. Yeah, I take that back. This wouldn't be an entry here. I was wondering where I had these lines from, but they were drawn up from yesterday. And they weren't in the same direction. So nothing here on the 5-minute. There's no entries here, but let's see if price does come back down. If we get that sell signal, it might be starting to set up for a momentum pullback scalp. However, as I mentioned earlier, guys, the ATR is currently at 14 right now. You can see down here, it's at 14. We need the ATR to be at least 15 in order for us to start taking some momentum pullback scalps. So it does not look like we're going to have any momentum pullback scalps, at least not yet. As of now, the only thing that can possibly come up would be a high-low scalp or high-low scalp V2. The breakout V2 came up over here. It didn't play out, of course. As you can see over here, where did it come up at? Right there, the two green candles. It came up right there, but it did not play through. Obviously, it went straight down. So I'm going to go and put this in the spreadsheet. Entry came up at 633. I mean, it was on a pretty decent winning streak. Today's date, 11/21/23. It's for a buy, loss, -250. So yesterday we had heavy movement to the upside. Today we had a heavy movement to the downside. As you guys can see, it's a lot of unpredictability during the holiday season. I mean, it's no surprise. It's just a lot of uncertainty. Let me see if any momentum. So the momentum counter scalp actually came up right here, guys. I don't know if anybody caught it, but it came up right here. So we had a sell signal, price came down, two green candles right here. And this was the momentum counter scalp. Right there, I went straight to TP. This one came up at 642. So I'll add that to our spreadsheet as well. $11, $21, $6, $42. It was for a buy, win, 100 profit. So you guys can see the momentum counter scalp is actually very profitable as long as it's taken when it needs to be taken. A lot of days there's no entries, but when there's entries, it typically does hit for the most part. Again, we have no direction here, as you guys can see. We have some zones over here. They're not higher highs or lower lows, but I'll just mark this up so that you guys have an idea of where structure is sitting Price is currently ranging right now. I'll make some adjustments if it does break out of this range or if there's a new higher high or lower low that comes up. But as you can see right here, there's no direction. Price had that big push to the downside right here, then it pulled into this range, and then now it's just going back and forth between this area. So again, we just have to wait. There's nothing for us to take here. Price is pretty much just going back and forth in this area here. Medu's asking, not sure if you're comfortable answering this, but did you take your daily entry for a buy or sell today? It was for a buy, but I didn't take it, Medu. So I'm supposed to take every entry, but when I looked at the news over here, it was, we saw the negative news there. So I kind of figured price would come down a little bit. I was going to try to catch it as it swung back up, but I didn't. That's going to be kind of the hard thing with this strategy that I was mentioning to you guys that I'm kind of applying for this hedge fund that I'm trying to get sponsorship from. Yeah, my intuition still kicks in. So like a lot of times I don't take certain entries. I might just have to put it on I might have to automate it. So just take the strategy and I don't have to look at it. Because if I'm looking at it, there's going to be reasons for me not to take the entry, right? If I see negative news here, I'm like, all right, maybe I shouldn't take the entry just yet. But yeah, Medu, it was for a buy. So if you look back at the charts, you can kind of have an idea of like why that was the criteria. It's pretty simple, actually. I'm not going to explain it to people because I don't want too many people using it. But if you figure it out, you feel free to test it if you like. And it's not a great strategy, guys. So just keep that in mind. That strategy that I'm using for the hedge fund, it's not a great strategy. It's more of a slightly profitable strategy. So if it's executed every single day over a long period of time, it's going to be somewhat profitable. It's like, maybe like a mid 60% win rate. So like say at the end of the year, if it just trades for a hedge fund, which, usually these hedge funds are trading a lot of money. If I can give them like, 10, 15% gain by the end of the year or over an extended period, then they're happy with that. So any profitable gain. It's different when you start trading for or if you ever trade for a hedge fund, like not even a prop firm, like an actual hedge fund where they're managing a lot of money. They don't care for the big gains, right? Like for example, here I'm making like a pretty decent amount of gains. Like if you look at my results here for the year so far. So for the year so far, we currently have 192 wins up until October. I haven't calculated November because we're still in this month. We have 192 wins, 26 losses, 28,330 profit in pips, total win-loss ratio of 88. I have a high win-loss ratio here because I'm executing these trades manually and I'm avoiding a lot of bad trades, right? So win-loss here is good because this is for my personal accounts. But when you're trading for like a hedge fund or like a big asset manager, they have like millions and millions of dollars to trade. So like, a 15% gain of like $1 million is a lot of money. So they don't have to trade they don't have to be super accurate like how I am here for the most part. Because as long as their clients are happy with, whatever X amount of gain that they make, then they get their percentage of that. So the way the hedge funds trade are like way different compared to like an active retail trader. Because for us, we're going for like these bigger gains every day, every week, every month. But these hedge funds are just looking to be profitable at the end of the year. So that's why I created this. I kind of created this strategy for them. It's not a strategy that's going to make a normal person a lot of money because it's going to be a lot of back and forth. You're going to have some losing days, some losing weeks. But by the end of the year, you're hoping to be profitable. So that's kind of the difference. So yeah, if you guys are trying to figure out the strategy, you guys can figure it out. I just don't think it's a great strategy. It's not something that you're going to be super profitable with. You might make like maybe, 10 to 15% a year, and that's a year. So unless you have a huge account, it's not going to be very much. All right, we got price kind of swinging up right here. This is a pattern for a V1 variation. It's just a pattern. It's not an entry. We don't have a bearish bias right now, I don't believe. Or maybe we do, but this is a double wick rejection right there. Let's just go ahead and take a look again. So retail sentiment is currently 66, Maddie said, 67% short. I don't think the fundamentals are bearish anymore. So this is bullish. Fundamentals are pretty much neutral, I'm assuming. Yeah, they're kind of neutral now. Looking over here at the technicals, short term is bearish and long term is neutral. Yeah, so there's no overall bias right now, so I wouldn't have taken the this V1 variation, but this is a V1 variation pattern. I mean, you can see right here, it is going down at TP, but it's not one that I would personally take myself. So full TP right there, if you guys took that V1 variation, I don't think it would meet criteria though, because the overall bias isn't strong enough. Retail sentiment's still bullish. Fundamentals are pretty much neutral. They're bearish neutral. Short-term technicals here are on the bearish neutral side, and the long-term is pretty much straight neutral. So I think this would be it'd be kind of a tight entry for you guys to want to take if you were to take it. There's not very much of a strong bias there. So I personally would not have taken it myself. But if you guys did take it, it's a full TP right there. So also the ATR is still very low, as you guys can see down below. It's currently at 13. So here we are again, just waiting for some sort of confirmation before we can start looking for any possible entries here. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough right now but for me personally, I would probably be looking for a sell at the moment specifically. So we'll see where this goes. But yeah, I think for the most part, so the bias right now is currently, let's leave it at that. We'll put this bearish neutral. If price continues to drop lower though, it's going to go back to bearish, of course. Right now it's more on the bearish neutral side. We'll just have to come back and forth and see if this here starts to shift around. Short-term technical is still bearish. Long-term, I don't think the long-term technicals are going to change today unless they drop super heavily. And we have news coming up in 6 minutes. Thanks, Maddie, for the heads up. All right, we got news right here in 6 minutes, guys. You guys want to be careful. Just wait until after news to take entries. Typically, we don't want to take trades 5 minutes or 10 minutes before after news because you're going to see some market reaction to the news event. It's a high impact news event. It's pending home sales or active home sales, existing home sales. They're forecasting it to be somewhat positive, not really positive, but more on the negative positive side. But I'm expecting it to be a lot more negative. Yeah, I'm expecting it to be negative. Because it's just typical. Like for December year, you don't see a lot of people buying homes. Like I mentioned earlier, I know this for myself because I'm trying to buy a home myself. And just from my real estate and mortgage friends and stuff like that, I just, it's common knowledge to expect it to be negative. So we'll see. We got price coming down right now. I'm hoping price doesn't break this low. Hoping doesn't break this low before news because I was hoping to take this as a high-low scalp, original high-low scalp. So we'll see. But anyways, we're going to sit tight here. Just wait. And yeah, I mean, we're just going to have to wait to see where this plays through. All right. ATR is still at 13, so this chart's kind of useless for us right now. But it's all good. Structure up here. All right, so as you guys can see over here, you guys can see the market structure. It's not super clean, but you guys can see where price is bouncing off of. It's probably the high point right there. I mean, realistically, this level right here shouldn't be here. This is actually the entire range. But I'll just leave that there for visualization purposes because this right here is not a higher high. This is a high low. Typically, I draw my structures at higher highs. As you can see up here, that's why I drew a structure up there. This is a higher high right here as well. Drew structure right there. You can see this is a lower low right here. Drew structure right there. I typically don't draw where the high lows are or the lower highs. I just drew that there because there's no higher high at the moment, but I'll leave it as is. You can just see this as the baseline of the structure. So it's in between. This is the actual support and this is the actual resistance up here. But you guys can see the volatility is dying down super heavily. because we do have news coming up in about 3 minutes. So see what happens here in the next 3 minutes. And we're just gonna wait. All right, we got news in 2 minutes. I'm kind of glad price is pushing up a little bit because I'm expecting it to come down for news. High impact news, guys. Another reminder, it's coming up in about a few minutes here, 1 minute. I feel like the candles are moving even slower because we're watching for it to come down. Let's take a look at everybody's profits so far. So looking over here at our team profits, we currently have Kenny over here, total profit of 1,780. And it looks like that's about it for right now. If anybody has any more profits to post up, feel free to post them up. You don't have to post them up right now, but eventually. I have no profits for myself because I haven't taken anything. We got news right here in about 30 seconds. Also, one thing over here, I saw Alan post this up today. So Alan said he got a message from someone pretending to be me, basically asking how he was doing. And then I wanted to take time off today to reach out to everyone individually. I'll never do this, guys. Trust me. As much as I want to help you guys out, and I'm rooting for you guys' success, I'm never going to message you guys individually and ask you, hey, how's your trading doing? If you guys ask me a question, I'll respond to you, but I'm not going to reach out to every one of you guys and ask you how's your trading going, right? That's a scammer. So just keep that in mind. Alan over here obviously picked it up right away. So just keep that in mind. If you guys read the message, I don't even sound like this. The English is usually kind of messed up. It says like, and get to understand how the market is going for everyone. And most importantly, like for example, here his grammar super sucks. If you guys know me, I'm the grammar police, bro. So I'm not gonna be sounding kind of off like this because this is a run-on sentence. Like you read it out loud. How are you? Wanted to take time off today and reach out to everyone individually, comma, wrong place for a comment, and get to understand how the market is going for everyone. And most importantly, tackle any challenges or personal difficulties you're facing in the market. So if you guys ever get a message from someone like me, it's probably not going to be me because I'm never going to message you unless it's something about something specific. But I'm never going to send you guys a generic message like this. And if you guys just read it out loud and it sounds kind of weird, it's definitely not from me. So just, I'm always looking out for you guys. I don't want you guys to get scammed. But again, if you guys ever get a message from someone who you might think is me, click on their username. This is a fake username right here, right? If you guys click on it, it's supposed to say just Kodi Kai trades. It's not going to say, like, for example, here's this Kodi Kai trade. It's missing an S. That's a scammer. Same scammer over here. It says Kodi Kai trades, but then he has a random number behind it. It's not me. So just keep that in mind, guys. And I'm always going to try to remind you guys if something like that does happen. So we got news right here. There's not really too much movement. The news candle happened on this little small red candle right there. I'm going to go and put that on every chart over here. So just that one and this one. I think there was another news event that happened. I believe there's a news event that happened this morning too at 5:30 and 5:55. I think I forgot to put that up. So we got one right here. 5:30 and 5:55. 530 and 555. All right. So, all right. So we don't really have much of a movement here based off news, and it was negative. See right here. So it did exactly what I was expecting. I was forecasting to be super negative. You can see it's super negative here. So price might come back down. So you can see over here, they were forecasting to be negative 1.3. And then it was actually negative 4.1. Typically, this type of market is not a good, it's not a good season for the home sales. So I was already knowing for it to be negative. Plus, we're in a bad economy right now. So I was expecting it to be worse. So negative news right there, and negative existing home sales. So, I know a little something about fundamentals. I don't know everything, but when it comes to home sales, I know how it moves. And we've been doing this for years, so it's not like this is new news to us. Anyways, there goes the home sales news, negative right there. There's no entries for us right now at the moment. We'll see where price ends up going. ATR is very low. It's currently at 12 right now, so there's no momentum pullback scalps. Let's take a look at the overall bias again. So the bias over here currently, retail sentiment is 67% short. Looking over here at the fundamentals are currently negative 82. It's pretty much where it's been earlier. So if price continues to drop down lower, the bias here is going to be more and more bearish because the short-term technicals here are bearish and the long-term technicals over here are going to be more on the bearish neutral side. We got fundamentals that will likely be bearish, so we'll be looking for that. But again, realistically, price is just bouncing in between this range. You can't really see the range right here, but on the clean chart, it's pretty obvious, right? At some point, I'll take off this middle level and you'll just see that this is a huge range. But I'll leave that there for now because this is like the baseline area of the range. So baseline right here, but realistically, the range is between both of these two levels. Right here, there's not too much of a direction. So for the most part, what we're looking for here is we're looking for price to break down below and provide opportunity for a high-low scalp down below this area. So again, guys, we are just waiting. Yeah, Maddie said boring market, typical Tuesday. Yeah, a lot of fake outs today, but overall pretty slow, as you guys can see. There's not really too much going on here. 705, so hopefully it does pick back up, which I do think it will. But yeah, we just gotta wait. There's just nothing here right now. Nothing here on the clean chart again. We can't come back to our momentum pullback scalp until the ATR picks up. There's not really much movement here. I think we'll just stick to the we'll probably just stick to the clean chart for now. Because there's just nothing to look at. There's no point in looking over here because you guys might want to start focus, like you'll start getting FOMO. All right. If you're looking over here on this chart where all the markups are, you're going to start to see stuff and you're going to maybe want to take some trades. So I think it's better to just stick to the clean chart over here because realistically, we're looking for either a lower low to come up or a higher high. Because once we have that, that'll kind of determine where price is likely to, push to. Currently, the higher high is up here right now. So it's got some distance to go, but it's not bullish right now with regard to trend. So we're probably looking for price to drop down below this level right here. And it's a bit far. Not super far, but it is a bit far from there. Actually, it's not even that far at all. It's only down like 20 points. It looks like it's far, but it's not really that far. So I'm aiming for this level right here. If price breaks down below this level, I'm probably going to take it for a high-low scalp, just an original high-low scalp. Maybe a high-low scalp B2 if that is give opportunity, but right now there's just nothing there. There's nothing here for liquidity. Both of these levels of liquidity already got hit for full TP. So right here for a sell, full TP. Right here for a sell, full TP as well. The next level of liquidity is going to be up here if price does continue back up. And then if price comes back lower, there's another level of liquidity down here as well. So this is going to line up with the sells that we're looking for if price does come back lower. So we'll come back and we'll wait for this here to play through, because if that's the case, then, even better reason to look for a sell here, because if price comes down lower, Of course, this lower point is going to be the target price point if price does continue to drop. Okay, if you look closer, price is actually squeezing right here. So see how price is squeezing down to this area. So whenever price squeezes like this, it's preparing for a breakout, right? Breakout to the upside, breakout to the downside. It's going to happen eventually. So sit tight, guys, until that happens. But that's kind of what it looks like right now. Really just got to wait for this here to choose a direction. But again, we'll go back here to the clean chart. I'll go back and forth. We'll just go back and forth between the two. Right now, you can see there's no direction. I think this is the best chart to look at because you can see it's pretty clean. There's not too much going on here. And you can see exactly where price is moving. Just going back and forth between these two levels. No need to force anything in between these levels. Just wait for price to break out of it. Eventually, price is going to break above and go back to opening price, where price is going to break below and go towards the next level of liquidity, as you guys know. Just hoping this picks up. Super boring market right now. Let's see, we got some profits over here. So we got Valentine over here, total profit of 325 for the day. Nice work right there, Valentine, all wins. So decent profits for the day for you guys who are taking trades off the analysis here. I mean, if you guys took liquidity, there's two opportunities for liquidity right there. There was the momentum counter scalp that came up over here on the 1 minute. And other than that, that's pretty much it. There's no official entries for the day yet. There's only two official strategies that we're applying, but as you guys can see from the low volatility, we can't take any momentum pullback scalps. And then there's just no opportunities here for any high-low scalp V2. So, obviously I will try to, there's levels right here, but they just haven't been broken yet. And with this low volatility, I'm trying to hold off. So you can see if you drew the lines on each level here, you guys can see that price just gets tighter and tighter, right? So there's going to be a bunch of liquidity here to the upside and a bunch of liquidity right here to the downside. So depending on where price decides to push, it's going to knock out pretty much all the liquidity here, right? If it goes up or if it goes down. These levels here will also be used as high-low scalp V2s. I mean, it just depends on like what you're going to be looking for there. So, I guess we'll see. It's just a little bit of a frustrating market here because it's kind of trash how it's moving. So there might be a high-low scalp V2 setting up over here, guys. Again, I'm not going to take a trade here. The volatility is too low. Plus, I don't think it's a very strong level. I'll mark it up for you guys if it does come up, but I don't think it's enough to take a 300 pip move. You might want to take it for a partial for like maybe 100. This is a high-low scalp V2, not a high-low scalp. For the high-low scalp, I would take it at this lower level. But I think these levels over here, you can see how price is just getting tighter and tighter. It's going to break out. So you want to be careful with taking any entries here because you don't want to be on the wrong side of that breakout. Price can break out in your direction or it can break out in the opposite direction. It's just, for me personally, I think it's just a tough call because you won't really know. You won't really know, which direction it's actually going to go in. So I'm just answering some questions here behind the scenes until something here happens. I'm not expecting too much to happen here. It just gets tighter and tighter. Let's go over here real quick. Nothing. Okay, we can see price is starting to drop down below. So we'll see if this is the case and if this ends up setting up for a high-low scalp V2. I'm not going to take this trade here, guys. As I've said, price is ranging super heavy here. One of the rules that we kind of came up with for the high-low scalp V2 is to avoid entries when price is ranging. And you can see how far this range is right here, right? If you want to go for the full TP, this is a pretty far push to the downside from where price is currently at. It's not a huge push, but it's pretty big compared to, where how price is currently moving. So I'll mark up these levels over here in case you guys do want to pull out. So it is setting up for a high-low scalp V2 right now, guys. So price breaks and closes past the level right there. So if the screen candle right here closes above this blue line, this is going to be a setup for a high-low scalp V2. Again, I'm not going to take this trade here. I'm going to give you guys a heads up right now. I'm definitely not going to take this trade because the volatility is just too low. It's not looking great. If you guys do want to take it though, I'd probably recommend that you go for a partial TP. So like 100 pips would be right here. The 20 would be right here. The full TP would obviously be this full move, but you can see how volatility is so low. You don't want to be caught in this trade for too long because it might just continue ranging. So you can see where this is. Yeah, Maddie said that this says it also sets up as a triple confluence. The only problem here is that the bias isn't super strong, and I just don't see it as a super great entry. So again, if you guys want to take the position, there goes the position there. It's now filled. It's currently running, but I'm not taking this position here. It's ranging way too hard. I wouldn't even consider this a range. I'd consider this a consolidation. There's like two different levels to it. There's like if price is going back and forth. So over here on the clean chart, if price is going back and forth between these two levels, I would consider this a range, but that's not really what's happening here, right? Price is really just going in between right here. So I consider this consolidation. Consolidation is the worst type of market to trade in because there's not much movement, right? At least if there's a range and price is moving back and forth like this, you have enough movement to hit your TP. Because if you're going for 100 pips, like I mentioned earlier, this is all you need. You just need this much of a move to hit your TP, right? So this is good. This is decent. But if you're going for, even a bigger move, like a 200 pip move, imagine if you get stuck in this range right here. This is a huge range. And even worse, the full move, the 300 pips, this is way too big of a range for you to, get trapped in. So it's almost virtually impossible for you to even hit your TP if the market's not moving. So yeah, Maddie said it's too sideways. I agree. Not a trade I would take here. So hopefully nobody took the entry there. If you guys do want to take it, I'd probably look for it to pull back a little bit and put a sell stop right there. Catch it as it comes back down. Right, because price it can bounce off this level and then possibly make its way back down from there. I mean, who knows? It's hard to tell. Let's see. Craig said, lastly, he's been paying close attention to the pivots. If the move is not in our favor or of the direction of the pivots, he's not of interest. Yeah, and I agree with you too, Craig, 100%. The pivots are a good indication of trend. The trend meter down below is helpful, but the pivots are actually a lot better. They're way more helpful because they kind of give you a basically peace of mind of like the direction of price. So you can see right here, price is ranging. It's going right back up. Hopefully nobody took the entry here. But you're doing some math and drawdown of 1,000 case. Not in the position, of course. So it's not really of worry to us here. We'll see. There's another lower low right here, though. So if this is the case and price does come back down, I would probably take this as a regular high-low scalp. So price kind of pull back super heavy. If price does come back down and break below this lower low right here, I will possibly take this as a high-low scalp, original high-low scalp entry, not a V2. Let me try to take a look at the overall bias again right now. Retail sentiment is pretty much the same, 67% short. Typically, we want to do the opposite and buy here. But if the other biases are indicating a sell still, then I might be okay with taking a sell here. The fundamentals here are pretty much, they've been at this level for a long time now. Pretty much all day today, it's pretty much been flat. It's been between 60 and 80, so it's a bearish neutral. Looking over here at the technicals, the short term is now, it's bearish neutral because the 1 minute here is kind of above, but if it does come back down, it's going to be bearish. The 5-minute, 10-minute still bearish. Looking over here on the 30 is kind of bearish neutral. The 1 hour over here is on the neutral side. It's swinging to the bearish, but it's kind of just sitting there. 4 hour here is still bullish. So yeah, it's just hard to tell. There's not really much of a direction here when it comes down to it. Price is still in this range, so there's not really too much here. I'm gonna clean this up right here, or actually I'll leave it up for now at least to see where price goes. But again, if I was to take this level off, you can see where price is going to. Target price point is going to be that upper level right there, right? I like leaving this level here because this level kind of shows you where the baseline is. It's the middle of the range basically. And you can see here price is now correcting right back down. But again, no entry for us here at the moment. Barack said, definitely trying to angle a buy. I don't like the ATR so low. Yeah, I agree. Barack's also asking me, Sean, are you using standard ATR settings? Yes, I am using standard ATR settings. I haven't changed anything. It's just the default settings that have in place. So just whatever's placed there. I mean, you can make adjustments to it. There's another ATR indicator that I'm kind of working on. It's not this, it's slightly different, but it's got a lot of testing that I need to do on it just to make it a little more accurate. I think as of now, the default settings are fine though, because we're not really using the ATR for entry points. We're kind of just using it to identify if the market is ranging or not. Obviously, you guys can see the ATR right here. It's currently at 12. So anything below 15 is typically a range, right? And you can see right here, price is still ranging within the zone here. It's not super obvious, but it is still ranging within the zone. Maddie over here confirmed that there was a high level momentum that just hit full TP. If you guys saw that, there's a lower low right here. Buy signal broken close past pivots 1 and 2 there. And that'd be an entry for a high level momentum scalp. So full TP right there for a high level momentum scalp if you guys decided to take that trade. Again, I'm still not in any positions today yet, guys. There's nothing here for us to take. The ATR is still super low. It's currently at 12. Hopefully nobody took the trade here. You guys listened to my advice and didn't take it because you guys can see how much of a mess it was here. So let me just clean this up a little bit. This is a high-low scalp pattern. It's not an actual entry because the bias here is not bullish. If we did have a bullish bias, this would be a high-low scalp and I would have taken it, but it's not. It doesn't meet criteria because the bias right now is currently, it's pretty mixed. Retail sentiment is still bullish. The fundamentals are still kind of bearish. Yeah, they're still pretty much bearish. They're like bearish neutral, but they're more, for the most part, pretty much flat. Looking over here at the technicals here are still, I mean, they're pretty mixed. There's just no bias here. It's tough because this right here is also a V1 pattern. So you guys can kind of see the double body and double wick right there. So this might be a fake out. I mean, this V1 might be actually a good entry. I'm not going to take it, but I'm just going to tell you guys right here because it's at the upper side of the resistance right here. This could be a fake out. It might just come right back down. So double body, double wick. It's a V1 pattern, but it's not an actual V1 variation because it doesn't meet criteria of the bias. The bias here isn't strong enough. Now, that's a messy market today, guys. I don't know if I'll take anything today. We'll continue watching. You know, I'm hoping something comes up from now until 8. We still have a lot of time. It's 7:21 right now, so we still have a pretty good amount of time till 8. I'm hoping the market starts to move, and there you go. As price comes down, it did exactly what we anticipated. See what I did right there? V1 variation, fake out from the resistance right here, and it came right back down. I think that's a key thing. So a lot of people like to catch their rejections off the resistance. I think looking for the fake out is, you know, is obviously better. You can see the fake out right there with the V1, perfect bounce off there. You know, it came down straight to your TP if you did take that for a sell. I was kind of tempted to take this here because it did meet my criteria, but not the criteria for the strategy. My criteria for the fake out, because it did exactly what I was planning for it to do. But it's all good. You know, I don't like taking risky trades anyways. There's another V1 variation pattern setting up right here. So again, this might be the same thing that we just looked at. So again, right here, you guys can see it's a double body pattern, pending buy signal, and it's rejecting off the baseline range right here. Yeah, Kevin said there's a double body wick, double wick on the 5 and 10 as well. So looking on the 5 minute over here. Yeah, it looks like for a sell, right? Yeah. A lot of confluence is there for a sell possibly. So if that's the case, I think price might come down a bit lower. It might just come back down to this lower range right here. So at 7:25, it's going to be the 5 minute candle close. It's still 2 minutes from there, so it still has some time. I mean, price might push it a bit higher. So this is what might happen here. Price might push back up. Then at like 7:25, it'll bounce off here. It maybe come back up. And then at 7:30, it'll come back down again. Because that's when these candles close. So the 5 minute candle closes in about 2 minutes. That'll have a double body, double wick. And then on 10 minute over here, this is going to close at 7:30. So it's got a lot of time until it actually gets to that point. It's not there yet. But again, price, again, this entry right here would have hit TP, it looks like. The double body right here, it's just ping-ponging back and forth, basically. That's literally what's happening here. Just ping-ponging back and forth between the area. Alan said, messy, wait till tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, if you guys don't feel comfortable trading this market, feel free to wait until tomorrow. I don't mind waiting until tomorrow either. But if I do see something good, I'll take it, of course. I don't see anything good right now, so I'm not taking anything. I think the main thing is the volatility. The volatility is too low. So again, right now it's currently at 12. The low ATR kind of goes hand in hand with the sideways market. I know a lot of you guys here who like to just trade in one direction. Yeah, it's nice when the volatility is high, but when the volatility is super low, like right now, it's almost impossible. You can't get in and out of these positions. Plus, the spread's kind of wide right now. Kenneth took the entry, pulled out for an early profit. Nice work, Kenneth. Probably a smart move there. I would have done the same thing because there's so many indications for a sell here. Okay, so the 5 minute over here closed. What Kevin was talking about earlier. You do have that V1 variation right there on the 5 minute. Price is now starting to come down a little bit lower. So if this is the case here, price might come back down to this lower range. But you guys can see there's a lot of back and forth movement here. So probably look at this lower low right here, if anything. If price comes down and breaks this lower low, I'll probably look to take this for a sell maybe. But it's a tricky area to be trading in because, again, the bias here is very strong. You guys can see the fundamentals here. They just kind of bounce between 60 and 80, right? It's now 80. A few minutes ago, it was at 60. Then it just keeps going back and forth. As price goes back and forth, it goes from 60 to 80. So it's still bearish neutral, more on the bearish side, but it's still bearish neutral. The retail sentiment over here hasn't changed at all. It doesn't look like these retail traders are they're not really getting in and out of their position. They're just kind of holding on to it. Technicals over here. So price continues to come back down. You can see that everything is starting to be more and more bearish, right? 1 minute's bearish, 5 minutes bearish, 10 minutes bearish, 30 minutes bearish. 1 hour here is starting to shift down to the bottom. So as you guys can see, if this is the case, then I might be more inclined to look for a sell here versus a buy. So again, I'm looking for price to break and close past this lower low. If that becomes the case, then I'll probably take this for a high-low scalp, an original high-low scalp with a 10-30 split. So I'll be looking for that here if that becomes the case. Right now, we don't have that, so just gotta wait. But that is pretty much what I'm looking for. Maddie mentioned that there's another high-low momentum scalp that's currently running. Yeah, it's about to hit TP. It just did. It's a full TP right there off the high-low momentum scalp. If this here closes right here, I'll probably take it. It's going to kind of too big of a candle though. So I was hoping it wouldn't close too big of a candle, but if this here closes, I'll probably take this right here as a high-low scalp. Just an original high-low scalp. I was hoping the candle's not too big though. But yeah, the high-low momentum scalp here just hit. You guys can see there was a higher high, sell signal right there, broken close, pivots 1 and 2, full TP right there. Yeah, this wick here is kind of big. Might have to wait for some retracement first. Yeah, I'm gonna hold off on this. I'm gonna hold off on this right here. Candle's way too big. I mean, the wick's too big. Candle's big too, but the wick's super big. All right, so there's no entry there. The candle didn't break and close below it, so there's no opportunity there for entry yet. This has actually been invalidated already. So unfortunately, there's no entry here yet, guys. This can still be used as a high-low scalp V2, but this right here cannot be a high-low scalp because this candle already touched it. So if anything, this would be the next level down here. But what you can look for here is you can look for a high-low scalp V2. So right here, if price breaks below and swings back up and then comes back down, this could still be a high-low scalp V2. I'm gonna see where my level would be at. Level would be 35, 350, 53, 350, 53. I'm just gonna get the order pending right now. There's still no opportunity there, but I'm gonna just get it pending right now. So it'd be a sell stop. 350, 53. Stop would be at 350, 83. Take profit would be at 350, 43. All right, so there's no opportunity there just yet, guys. The candle has to break and close below it. So the candle has not broken and closed below this level here. It's got to break and close below it. And then it needs to swing back up for retracement. If anything, I'll probably take this for a partial. I'm probably not going to take it for the full move. Again, you guys can see the volatility here is extremely low. It's currently at 13. So there's no opportunities here for any momentum pullback scalps. A lot of fake outs right here. But there's no surprise. Today's Trap Tuesday, as you guys know. This was expected. Yeah, if I don't get anything today, I don't need to take anything. But I'll be looking. Kenneth said done for the day. See y'all tomorrow. Yeah, definitely. Barack said, wasn't that a liquidity sweep? I don't know. How do you define liquidity sweep? I don't call anything liquidity sweep, so I wouldn't fit under any of my criteria. I feel like a lot of people might, it's just a little, I mean, yeah, this would be liquidity right here. So if you're talking about liquidity getting hit, there's a bunch of liquidity right here that was sitting on the 1 minute. So if that's what you're referring to, then yeah, I guess. But I never use that term, so I'm not really sure what you're referring to, Barack. So liquidity push, I don't know if you, I don't know if it like lines up exactly as liquidity sweep or your definition of liquidity sweep, but yeah, there was liquidity sitting right there. Yeah, Rashida said smart language money, smart money language. I don't like that kind of language, guys. Like, I feel like a lot of people want to complicate, like overcomplicate it. It's just liquidity. Like, okay, I don't like people need to call it like a liquidity sweep. It's like literally liquidity sitting right there. But yeah, it's a liquidity push, right? Yeah. You know, that whole smart money concepts that everybody's kind of fallen into, it's there's basic words for it. You don't have to call anything specific. That's like it just confuses people. I feel like, so whenever I see people talk, or I listen to people talk about, you know, smart money concepts, yeah, Maddie said it makes them feel smart. Like, yeah, I try to keep things as simple as possible. So I just call it like I just call it I call it as it is, right? I don't overcomplicate anything. All right. So anyways, back to the charts over here, guys. We currently have price break and close below it. If price does swing back up, it's going to set up for a high-low scalp V2. Gosh, yeah, Barack said like sweeping them off the entries. It's the same thing. Yeah. So it's, yeah, Barack called it a liquidity sweep. It's the same thing as liquidity push. There's all this liquidity here. It's pretty obvious. So yeah, price just pretty much, I mean, there's a lot of different names for it. There's a stop loss hunt. You know, initially it was called a stop loss hunt. Stop loss hunt made so much more sense. Like when I first started trading, like, I don't know, like 10 years ago, everyone called it a stop loss hunt. I think that was like the easiest thing to understand because you're like, okay, this stop loss hunts or people's stop losses are sitting. And then it just evolved to like all these other different names. Liquidity makes sense too, but I don't know. I feel like everybody tries to make up their own words or own names for things. And it's the same thing. So yeah, not a big deal. I mean, you guys can call it whatever you like, but I'm going to call it as is. I'm just going to call it liquidity because it just avoids all confusion with these terms. Like support and resistance, if you guys look at support and resistance, they're just high lows, right? So we look at high lows over here. And that's why I created this indicator to show you guys. It makes things a whole lot simpler because instead of looking at like or making things complicated, like supply and demand, right? Supply and demand is literally it's not always going to be support and resistance, but supply and demand will line up with a support and resistance. So I just feel like there's a lot of over complicating that happens with trading that that doesn't need to be done because everybody trades support and resistance. You know, it just kind of makes some slight differential there because for support resistance, you guys can see there's a lot of support resistance levels here. But if you just look at the higher highs and the lower lows, like if you were to take off these extra high lows, you know, supply and demand can be a lot easier to identify. And support resistance, like the actual quality support resistance that you're looking for, they're easy to identify here as well. So yeah, I'm always going to try to make things as simple as possible so that people don't get confused. But anyways, guys, there's a possible high-low scalp V2 that's kind of setting up right here if anybody's looking to take it. Again, if you guys are looking to take the trade here, you know, like I mentioned before, I'm probably going to take it for 100. I probably won't take it for the full move because the volatility here is just way too low. It's way too low. That's not really looking so great. Again, this candle needs to break and close above it. So we can't close below it. It needs to push up higher and close somewhere above the area. Let's see what else we're looking over here real quick. There's no entry there yet. Yeah, you know, I'm probably not going to take this here. Like I would want price to actually push up a little further so that I can put my sell stop there. So when it does come back down, I can fill it. I don't really feel comfortable entering this as a market order because I keep getting screwed with this, with the slippage and leverage here. I mean, not leverage, the slippage and the execution time. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said, might want to get a high low off the lower low. Yeah, I was thinking about that too. So that might be the case here too. If anything, I might look for the high low below this lower level right here. Because I don't think this high-low scalp is really going to play through. Valentine said, I think I'm done for the day. Not trusting this market. I don't blame you, Valentine. It's not really the best day to be trading. It's 7:36 right now, so we still have like maybe about 20 minutes till 8. There's no need for us to really force anything again, guys. You know, I'm just playing by ear. The trade here never played through. Let's see. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If this here doesn't come back up, then there's no entry for the high-low scalp V2. Next opportunity is going to be right here for a high-low scalp if it breaks and closes below, like what Maddie mentioned earlier. So we'll see if it breaks and closes below this level here. This is actually a lot more. It's just one, it's a better entry in my opinion. But it does need to break and close below it. So nothing on this candle right here. We'll see for the next one over here if it actually breaks and closes below it. Let's see, Rashida said she's done. She's made 866 for the day. Now, that's pretty good, Rashida. For a market like this, you know, you were able to get in and out of a quick position. I'm assuming you caught like about 100 pips or so, which is pretty solid. There's no need to force anything. So again, this level over here is not Usable, guys. This candle broke below it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles. Fifth candle passed. No opportunity there for entry. And right here, price is still kind of bouncing around. Yeah, Maddie said the pivots are looking nice. Yeah, they're starting to spread out right here. You can see the pivots are starting to fan out, so it's looking good for a sell. One way that a lot of people like to trade is that they like to take a bunch of sells, and I've seen a lot of people do this. It's a super risky way of trading. One way that, and I think Sisu trades this way too. I don't know if he's here today. Sisu actually got off already. So Sisu, the way he trades is he likes to take trades based off the bounces off these pivots. So every time price comes up and bounces off like pivots three or four, he'll take a trade there. So for example, price bounced directly off that pivot there, he would have taken the sell. He would have been in profit. This works good when there's volatility. Right now, there's no volatility. So a lot of you guys, I see some people who take like Brock takes a bunch of trades. He's one of the people who takes a bunch of trades, and a lot of people like ask him what he's doing. He's kind of doing something similar. I can tell, because this dude takes like a crazy amount of trades, Brock. And you take like 1, 2. Well, you take like the same amount of trades as like Kevin. You and Kevin take like some crazy amount of trades. Like for you guys, I would see this as like a tough market for you guys to trade in, unless you're trading without a stop loss, of course. If you're trading without a stop loss, it's easy. You just take a trade and you kind of just pray for it to go in your direction. But it's kind of impossible to do that with a funded account, because you're going to hit your daily loss pretty easily if it doesn't go your way. But yeah, like you and Kevin, you guys take like some pretty crazy trades in like one direction. It's kind of similar to what Sisu does, and that works good when the volatility is high, because like Kevin over here, right? Kevin's making like a ton of profits right here. He can take the buys and then just trade. But Kevin already told us that he doesn't use a stop loss. So, if you're not using a stop loss, it'll work as long as there's volatility. But if there's no volatility, it makes it super, super difficult. Yeah, Brock said it's been a tough week. I could only imagine. The market's he hasn't really been moving very much in a direction. So it's been hard for you to just take those kinds of trades. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So Brock does the same thing. He just has a stop loss set to 30, just kind of similar to what we do. Kevin doesn't use any stop loss sometimes. So he'll go into some massive drawdown, but then he'll have like massive profits when he does have his good days, which, that's how certain people trade. As I mentioned to you guys before, there's no one way to trade. So if you figure out a way that works good for you, then, continue to apply it. Again, if you guys can see the entry here that I just talked about for Sisu, he would wait for price to come up to like level 3. As long as there's like a strong trend or strong bias, he would take a sell there, hit his full TP. So there's a ton of different ways to trade. All of my tools here can be used in a lot of different ways. So it just kind of depends on how you want to use it yourself. Still looking for price and breaking close past this level right here. You can see how price kind of just comes around here. It's currently ranging right now, but I'm looking for price to break below here and providing opportunity for a high-low scalp, an original high-low scalp, not a high-low scalp V2, but a original high-low scalp. Looking over here on the 5-minute, there's actually like 2 entries there, or there's one entry that was running from up here for a high-low scalp V2. I don't know if anybody saw that, but this was a 5-minute entry. It looks like it already hit TP. And it looks like it might be trying to set up for another one over here as well, down below. There's nothing else here. Liquidity never really got out of this area. So you can see over here, we have lower level liquidity down below, but you can see prices just ranging between these 2 levels here. So the range here is pretty obvious on the liquidity levels, and then also on the clean chart. So again, we're looking for price to break and close below this level right here, guys. If it breaks and closes below this level, it's going to be an original, like the regular high-low. But yeah, not really expecting too much here. Daniel's asking on the 5-minute, is there still a 5 candle rule? No, there isn't. Not for the 5-minute, because the 5 minutes, there's so many candles. So like sometimes this thing will go back and forth for like a long period of time. Like for example, here price broke below it, came back above it. It took a long time because these are 5-minute candles, and then eventually it comes back down. So if you go back and look like at all the entries over here, Daniel, you'll see they pretty much always hit. That's why I don't have a time for this. Like, for example, right here, I price broke above it, came back below, full TP. Right here, price broke below it, came back up, full TP. So the 5 minutes actually pretty decent. I mean, if you're taking these entries here, the 5 minute does work very well. I just probably wouldn't try it during, outside New York session. And I just use it as a confluence. I don't typically take it on its own. I think during this market right here, because the market's so slow, you can use a 30-30, but typically when the market's moving faster, for a 5 minute entry, you probably want to use a 50-50. 30-30 is good most of the time, but when the volatility is super, super high, like moving like 500 pips, you obviously want to go higher because they're bigger candles. So, all right, guys, it's 7:43. If there's any questions you guys have, feel free to put your questions in the chat. I don't see anything to take right here. Unfortunately, it's currently 7:43. So we have about 15 minutes till 8. I was really hoping we get at least one entry here, but if we don't, it's completely fine. I'm not going to force anything here. If I ever force a trade here, this is going against everything that I teach, right? I teach you guys to be disciplined, consistent, don't FOMO. And I think I did pretty good today. I didn't FOMO into any trades. There was actually no entries for us to take here, so there wasn't anything for me to FOMO into. So I think this is a pretty, not a great day, but it's a decent day because we didn't lose any trades. My win streak still continues. So as you guys can see, my win streak for the year so far is pretty decent. Let's see. So I haven't taken a loss since October 23rd. So 1, 2, 3, well, not days, but basically a month. So I've gone basically a month with, today's the 21st. So I keep going another couple of days, another 3 days of consistency. It's not bad. Profit's not super crazy. Like I haven't had a big profit here since like October. Last time I had a big profit was on Friday the 20th. That's when we took the high-low scalp V2. Everything else has been 100 pips. But this reflects the market conditions. If you guys have seen the market conditions for this month, it's been very slow, right? So 100 pips makes sense. A lot of people laugh about it, about making 100 pips, but I mean, I'm not laughing about 100 pips because I'm making pretty good profit off those 100 pips, right? There is a whole bunch right here. So these are all my profits for the day. Let's see, Nick's asking, will there be a meeting tomorrow? Is tomorrow Thanksgiving yet? Or is tomorrow, let's see, Wednesday? Let me check the calendar real quick. Let's see if the markets are open. Yeah, markets or, oh wait, tomorrow is Thanksgiving. What the hell? Wait, they skip a day. Yeah, Thanksgiving's on Thursday. I don't know why here it shows that it's on Wednesday. And there's no Thursday calendar here. That's so weird. Yeah, Thanksgiving is on Thursday, right? I'm not tripping. Yeah, it's on Thursday. Yeah, I'll be live tomorrow, guys. I don't understand why it shows that on. That's weird. So it says bank holiday over here on the 23rd because this is Thanksgiving, of course. But for some reason, my FX book shows it on the 22nd. I'll be live tomorrow. That's fine. I'll be here, guys. So no worries. I'll be trading. I need to get this one trade in before Thanksgiving. Let's try to get it in if I can. Looking like we're gonna have to wrap this up soon. If there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, there's something wrong with my internet connection. That was weird. My trading view kind of just went out for a little bit. But yeah, guys, if there's any other questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. If you guys have more profits to post, feel free to post them up. Felix over here blocking the total profit of 1,219 for the day. All wins here. Nice work, Felix. We got Kenneth over here, total profit of 1,650 for the day. All wins as well. Nice work, Kenneth. We got Barack over here, total profit of 520. Nice work locking that one trade for the day, Barack. Solid. Alan's asking if I saw his PM. Is it the one I responded to? Let me check. If it's the one about the strategies, I think that's the one because I responded to that one, Alan. Unless you asked me something else. Okay, yeah. So Alan was asking, where do I find the rules for each of the strategies? You have to find them under each video, Alan. So I do that purposely so people have to actually watch the videos. You learn better by actually doing the work going forward. I know you probably are looking for just like a spreadsheet of all the criteria, but I don't. I do that on purpose. I don't provide that because I want people to actually go and watch the videos. So yeah, that's where you would find it. I know a lot of people look for some shortcuts. I know you're not looking for a shortcut, but a lot of people try to look for shortcuts, and it makes it hard because even though you have the strategies, it's better to watch the video because the video will show you examples of the entries. So yeah, unfortunately, there's no easy way to get the criteria, Alan. But what I'd recommend is when you do watch the videos, create your own spreadsheet, right? Or create your own Word document. So say, for example, if you watch the video regarding the high-low scalp, just write down the criteria, and then you'll have your own list there. If you really want the list, Sisuk has a list somewhere. He's posted it somewhere before. So if you just want the list just because, you can reach out to Sisuk. I know he has it. He might give you a hard time because he's gonna think that you're looking for an easy way out, but he does have a list. He's shared it in the group a couple times before. I just don't think it's on the list right now in the Discord. But yeah, Sisuk's one of the guys. He's probably gonna pull your leg a bit and kind of ask you a bunch of questions. This dude's probably gonna give you an interview before he gives you the list, but he does have a list of he's documented every trade since we started. So yeah, either you can go watch the videos or you can try to bug Sisu. But you'll be in for a long talk if you do talk to Sisu because he's not going to just give it to you. Anyways, so there's no entries for us today, guys. If there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. There's nothing for us to take here at the moment. Overall bias right now is kind of flat for the most part. Retail sentiment is currently 66% short. This indicates that 66% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So you typically want to do the opposite and buy. However, looking over here at the fundamentals are currently bearish right now. They're down 102 points or 80 points. So they're still bearish. So they're kind of conflicting. Retail sentiment's indicating to take buys. Fundamentals here indicating to take sells for the most part. Looking over here at the technicals are pretty much mixed as well. You can see the 1 minute here is bullish, 5 minutes bearish, 10 minutes bearish, 30 minute is turning bearish. 1 hour is neutral, and the 4 hour here is bullish. So it's pretty mixed across the board. There's not really much of a direction. And with that said, I don't think there's anything for us to take here at the moment. So, all right, guys, I think we're going to wrap this up for the day. Unfortunately, there's no entries for us today, no official entries. However, there were a bunch of entries that did come up. There was a momentum counter scalp, which is a full TP. There was 2 liquidity pushes here for full TPs as well. And I think that's about it. About 3 entries came up today. As you guys can see here from the clean chart, we have the range drawn up. If I take off this middle range, you can see price has not gone anywhere for the entire session. It's gone back and forth between this range here. So if you guys didn't take any trades today, that's completely fine. If you guys didn't take any losses, that's a good thing because you don't want to be taking any losses, right? As long as you stack up the wins every day, whether it's 1 or 2 wins, your profits will add up. You guys have seen my spreadsheet here. If you guys are new here and you guys want to see my spreadsheet, just go on the Discord, scroll down to trading journal, go to 2023 official live trades. It has all of my trades here lined up from 2023. So you can see every trade here. We've been on a pretty good win streak. And this is thanks to me not taking any dumb or risky trades. I've been pretty much on point, didn't FOMO into anything today or this week. And yeah, we're kind of just playing it through. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this up for the day, and I'll see you guys back here tomorrow for the last live session before